The big moves for Bitcoin are about to happen this week because there are a lot of interesting price formations for Bitcoin occurring on the charts. There's a lot of interesting data coming into the market which I will discuss with you in this video. We also had the month of November closing during the weekend and we saw the highest monthly candle close ever for Bitcoin in history. There's also a CME gap which I will discuss with you. And I will also have a look at the two altcoins XRP and Chainlink, but about that later in the video. So you want to watch this video all the way to the end? Please slap up the like button because it will help my channel a lot. And let's dive right into the charts. On Friday afternoon, Bitcoin opened the CME gap here around this level and it was around the $97,466. And we saw that Bitcoin was trading around this level just like I always been expecting, because during the weekend we don't see a lot of volatility mostly. And we can also see that Bitcoin closed the CME gap perfectly shortly after the weekend was over. And now we can see that Bitcoin is trading a little bit to the downside. So we could potentially see more the downside continuation for Bitcoin in the coming hours. But of course, there's also a lot of interesting other formations which I will discuss with you later in the video. And from a couple of weeks ago, there's still a CME gap open at the $76,532. And of course, Bitcoin could come all the way back down to this level to close the gap. But 99 out of 100 times the CME gap gets closed. So this could be that one time the CME gap doesn't get closed. So I think Bitcoin will never come back to this level to close the gap. But of course, there are a lot of people who are waiting for this level to be closed. And from there, you can enter the market again, maybe in a long for Bitcoin. And if we have a look at the Bitcoin 4-hour chart, we can see this consolidation formation is unfolding. On the top side, we can see multiple touch points here as resistance, and on the lower side, we can see a lot of touch points as support. And eventually, this price of Bitcoin is getting squeezed into this apex, and eventually we will see a breakout to either the top side or either the downside. And if we're going to see a break to the top side, we have to wait for a confirmation of the break. Then we wait for a retest of the resistance to turn it into support. And from here you can enter the market in the long or just spot buy order for Bitcoin. And then we can aim for higher targets. And the same can be happening for the bearish scenario. So if we're going to see a confirmation of the breakdown, we have to wait for a retest of the support to test it as resistance. And from there we can aim for lower targets. But if we're going to break out of this huge consolidation formation to the top side, I think we will see the $100,000 getting hit pretty soon after. Because after this huge consolidation, we are still in this huge uptrend for Bitcoin on the daily time frame and also on the higher time frames. So we could see a continuation of the huge trend to the top side, because the trend is your friend until it ends. And on Friday, we saw a lot of interesting news coming in for the Bitcoin ETFs. We saw $320 million of total inflow, which was very bullish, of course. We didn't see any outflows in any of the Bitcoin ETFs, so this was very bullish to see. And we're now coming closer to the $31 billion target of total cumulative inflows, which is very bullish to see. So let's see if we can see another very bullish week for the Bitcoin ETFs. And if we then have a look at the Ethereum ETFs, we can see that they had one of their most bullish days ever. And we saw a total inflow of $332.9 million into the Ethereum ETFs. And that was mainly caused because BlackRock and Fidelity were buying like crazy. And this is exactly what we want to see for Ethereum, because it will pump up the price for Ethereum even more. And also let's see what this week will bring us, because we're now seeing a total cumulative inflow of only $576.8 million for Ethereum. And of course, we want to see those numbers above the $1 billion very soon. And last week, I've been discussing this formation with you on the 4-hour time frame for Bitcoin. We saw consolidation happening. Then we broke this huge resistance area to the top side. We retested as support. And from there, we could have entered the market in the long. And then we just aim for higher targets. And from this retest, you could have made an interesting gain of more than 6%. So this could be a very good trade to make. And congratulations if you took this trade together with me, because I shared this in my socials. But however, we can now see that Bitcoin is creating a lower high. And this could also indicate that we're going to see a little bit of a trend shift to the downside, because we were first in an uptrend and now we could potentially see a little bit of a downtrend. But of course, on the higher time frame, we are still in an uptrend. So let's see what Bitcoin will bring us in the coming days. And looking at the Bitcoin dominance at the weekly time frame, we can see that the Bitcoin dominance is crashing a little bit. And this is not a bad thing to see, because a lot of altcoins will maybe surge to the top side. And just like we saw in the last cycle, when this Bitcoin dominance was dropping, we saw the next alt season unfolding. And this could happen very soon if we're going to see a drop towards this level. And this level on the lower side is a very big support and resistance level, because in the past we can see a lot of price interactions happening around this level. So if the Bitcoin dominance is going to dump further to the downside, we could see altcoins surge very big, because we are now already seeing a lot of altcoins gaining momentum. and especially XRP, which I will discuss with you later in the video. Cardano and VeChain are pumping like crazy, and they are also the sleeping giants, as I will always call them. So I will talk about them later in the video, so you want to watch this video all the way to the end. So if the Bitcoin dominance is going to pump further to the downside, I think we will see a huge alt season unfolding. And Bitcoin closed its highest candle ever in the monthly time frame, and we also saw its biggest candle of the monthly time frame. We saw an increase of $26,000 for this monthly candle of November, so this has been the biggest monthly candle ever for Bitcoin in the history. And if we then have a look at the Bitcoin monthly returns, we can see that November had an increase of 37.29% in November. So this is an insane month, of course, for Bitcoin. And let's see if December can also end in green. And then, of course, we will see levels above the $100,000 for Bitcoin. So in the past, when we saw a September, October and November that were green, we also saw a bullish December, as we can see here in these years. And also we saw that last year. So let's see if we can see another bullish December, and that will bring us above the $100,000 for Bitcoin. And zooming out to the Bitcoin daily time frame, we can see that Bitcoin is still in this huge uptrend. We can see higher lows and higher highs unfolding. And last week we created this higher high, so we also saw a little bit of a decline. So we could potentially see this as a higher low. So we're still in this huge uptrend, and we're also in this parabolic uptrend. But for now we're seeing a little bit of sideways action. So Bitcoin has to pick a side. Are we going to see a higher high unfolding, or are we going to see a lower low unfolding? And this will be the first indication to see where the Bitcoin course will bring us. So I think if we're going to see a higher high from here, we are going to just continue the uptrend, and we are going to see more parabolic moves, and we will of course break above the $100,000. But of course we could also see a bearish scenario possible, that we're going to create a lower low, and that we're going to see a little bit of a correction in the coming days and weeks. But of course we want to see this pump above the $100,000, and that the liquidity is getting wrapped, and that we're going to see more exponential moves for Bitcoin. But if we have a look at this parabolic uptrend on the daily time frame for Bitcoin, we can see that every time we touch this support area, we saw a nice interaction of the price, and we saw a spike to the top side. And the last parabolic move was very intense. So we also saw that the Bitcoin is retracing back to the support area, and it was respected perfectly. Then we saw a move to the top side, but now we are seeing that Bitcoin is breaking through this support level, which is not very much to panic about, because we could just see a continuation of the bullish momentum to the top side. But however, this parabolic uptrend has been broken a little bit, but I don't think that Bitcoin is going to see a decline from this level, because I think we will just continue the bullish uptrend. But if Bitcoin is going to create a lower high from here, we have to aim for lower targets, because then the trend is going to shift in the bearish trend. And the first interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is Chainlink. We can see that Chainlink is pumping like crazy from these lows, and at these bear market lows we were just waiting for a pump to the top side, and every time we broke through this resistance area we saw a beautiful breakout, a retest of the resistance, turn it into support, and from this support area I've been telling you that you could have entered the market for Chainlink in a long, because this interesting resistance has been turned into support. From this level you could have made an interesting gain towards the next big resistance of almost 30%, and from the point where we are now it could have been more than a 50% increase. So this could be a very interesting trade to make. And now we can also see that Chainlink is pumping through this next big resistance, and then we also see a retest of the resistance to turn it into support. From this level you could also enter the market again in a long. And now Chainlink is trying to break through this big resistance on the daily time frame. And if we're going to see a break of this level and the daily close above this resistance area, we can confirm the break to the top side. Then we can again wait for a retest to this retest this previous resistance as support. From there you can enter the market again in a long and aim for higher prices. So it's looking very beautiful for Chainlink, and let's see if Chainlink can just continue the bullish momentum, because we are now seeing a pump towards the top side, and let's see if we can continue the bump to the top side and create more parabolic moves. And let me know in the comments if you still hold Chainlink in your portfolio and what your price prediction for Chainlink in the future is. And the next interesting altcoin I want to have a look at is XRP, and we can see that XRP is mooning like crazy. XRP has been in this consolidation for 155 weeks, so this has been the longest consolidation ever for crypto. And now we can see that XRP is spiking to the top side, and we are pumping like crazy. So this is insane to see. And we are now already at the $2.4, so this is insane of course. And we can see that XRP has been pumping like crazy, and we almost are up for 400% in the last week. So this is insane of course. So congratulations if you held on to your XRP tokens, because we are pumping right now. And zooming in on a 4-hour time frame, I was discussing this huge consolidation formations with you for XRP, and every time we saw a beautiful pump to the top side, we saw sideways consolidation, a next pump, a new consolidation happening, and then we saw a beautiful breakout again, and we saw another pump. So this last pump has been going parabolic, and we can now see that there's no stopping XRP. So let me know in the comments what you think the price of XRP will be at the end of 2024. And we could potentially see levels above the $3 if we're going to continue this bullish momentum. And of course, we also have some very good news for XRP, because we are also creating a new all-time high. And this is insane, of course. And the last all-time high was around the $2, and that was around here. And we now created this all-time high of the $2.5. So this is insane, of course. So this was it for today. Please leave a like if you think the video was useful. Don't forget to follow me on my other socials, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.